Hey y'all, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae, if you didn't know, and today's video is day 4 of HALLOWEEK. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright y'all, so today's story I'm going to just go ahead and get right into, because if I tell y'all what the story is about, then it's kind of going to give away what the story is about, you know. Not that y'all didn't already read the title of the video, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to just go ahead and get into the story because it's a wild one, y'all. It's freaking crazy. So it's 1975, and a young man by the name of Levon is fresh home from the Vietnam War. And real quick, before I get all the way into the story, I just want to apologize if I'm pronouncing that man's name wrong, because I speak English and Spanish. Those are Latin-based languages. I don't know the first thing about Asian-based languages, so I do apologize. Like, I'm so sorry if that is wrong. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody or their culture or their language, okay? So let's just keep that in mind. So Levon is freshly home from the Vietnam War, and his family could not be more excited, because not only did that mean that Lay survived this war, that also meant that he was still going to be able to go through with this pre-planned marriage that they had set up for him. Now, Levon was not unprivy to this information. He already knew that he was about to get married, because this was a marriage that was planned for him from when he was like a tiny type, for him and his future wife. They've been about to get married. And even though this marriage had already been arranged from when they was little kids, they barely knew each other. Like, Lay and his future wife barely knew each other, but they got married anyways. And at the beginning of their marriage, things was pretty much going as you can expect things to go in an arranged marriage, especially when the people didn't necessarily grow up together and know each other very well. There was basically no love there. There was no romanticism within that relationship. But as time went on, Lay and his wife would develop those loving, like, the love portion of their relationship. Like, they fell in love. And throughout the course of their marriage, they would end up having a total of 7 kids. So there was obviously, you know, some loving going on. Now, the type of life that they lived financially, I can't really speak to. I don't really know if they had a really, really wealthy life, or if they were poor, middle class, or I don't know. But what I do know is that despite the financial situation that they had, Lay and his wife ended up living like a very happy life with their kids. They was just happy and in love, you know? So one day in 2003, while Lay was working outside of the house, and I mean like in a different province or state, I don't really know what they call them in Vietnam, but nonetheless, he was working further away from home when he received a call from his family stating that his wife had suddenly passed away. And because they had created this loving relationship, this bond between them, this family, Lay was devastated by this news, as you can imagine. I mean, that is his wife. That is someone that he had been with for the better part of almost 30 years. So upon receiving this news, Lay hurried home as fast as he could get there. I don't know how long that took, but by the time Lay got home, he barely got a chance to see his wife before she was set to be buried. And I couldn't really get a clear depiction on what the traditional Vietnamese burials are like, or like how they conduct the funerals, or how they deal with their deceased. But I do know that Lay was not really trying to have his wife buried. And he tried to express this when he got home, but the people in the village told him, like, you know, if she's not buried, her soul would never be saved. And so, against everything that he wanted for his wife, he decided to allow her to be buried. So Lay goes home after his wife is buried, and night after night after night, he's not able to sleep. He's so used to his wife being next to him. He is just so used to her companionship that he can't take it. And so since he couldn't sleep, one day Lay was just like, F it all. And he went to the cemetery to be with his wife. And this is when he started sleeping on her grave. And this made Lay feel so much better. He was finally able to get a good night's sleep. He was with his wife, and it just was a comforting feeling for him. And so Lay started to do this every single night. Around bedtime, he would leave the house, go to the cemetery, and sleep on his wife's grave, until one day when it started raining. And Lay was like, oh my gosh. He never considered the elements like rain, bad weather, storms, none of that. It just didn't never crossed his mind. So this one particular day when it started raining, he was like worried about being out there because who wants to be out here laying sleep? You can't sleep while you're getting rained on. It's just not a thing. I mean, sleeping in a house while it's raining is one thing. That's some of the best sleep in the world. But sleeping outside and getting rained on, I can only imagine is not the best. So in an effort to avoid the elements, getting rained on, storms, winds, cold, Lay decided to dig a tunnel. Like kind of like a, I don't know, like a makeshift. He kind of tried to make the grass his cover, so to speak. So he dug a tunnel to his wife's grave and started sleeping in the tunnel. And then his kids found out and they were like, "Oh no, sir, you can't do this. You cannot be sleeping outside. I know you miss mom. We miss her too, but like, bro, get your ass in the house." So they basically forbid him to go and sleep in the cemetery. Now, I don't know how they made sure that he didn't do this no more, but like I said, they forbid him to do it. And so he devised a whole nother plan, okay? And this one will require a little bit of craftsmanship. So Lay bought some glue, cement, plaster, and I believe there's one other material, which I cannot think of right now. But he bought all of these things and he just started creating, doing his little thing. And he created a mold of a woman. And at first his kids just thought, okay, he's making this mold because he misses mom, obviously. But that's not the only reason he was making this mold of this woman, because Lay had actually dug up his wife. So he dug up his wife and put her remains in a bag and hid it somewhere. I think he hid it somewhere on the cemetery. I don't know how he hid a bag full of bones, but he did. And so when he was finally finished making this mold of this woman, he went to the cemetery, retrieved the bag that he had put his wife in, and proceeded to encase her in this mold. And he put the mold in his bed and he slept with it. He slept with his wife, his deceased wife. And like I said, at first his kids just thought that he missed their mama so much that he just needed somebody in the bed with him or something in the bed with him just to comfort him. And they was okay with that until he told them the truth. So his kids tried to convince him, like, "Dad, you gotta take her back to her grave. You can't do this." And once the word got out and once some of his neighbors found out, like the people in his village, they wasn't having it either. They called the authorities on him. And when the authorities came, Lay told them the truth. He told them that he has his wife encased in this mold and he sleeps with her every night. He dresses her nicely. He makes clothes for her. He puts makeup on her, which were things that his wife didn't do while she was living. But he feels like now he is, I guess, his obligation to make her pretty and keep her well dressed. But he told the authorities all of this and they told him that he had to put her back. And so Lay agreed. He said, "Okay, I'll put her back. Fine, whatever." But that's not what he did. The authorities left and Lay left his wife just laying in the bed. Now, I don't know the laws when it comes to dealing with corpses in Vietnam, like dealing with dead bodies, because in the U.S., I feel like that would be a crime, like tampering with a corpse, or he didn't really mutilate it, or he didn't really do nothing bad to it. He didn't defile it or anything. So is that really a crime to want to have your wife with you? But then couldn't you just cremate her? But I also do know that in certain countries and in certain cultures, cremation is like just not a thing. So I don't know if that's a thing in Vietnam or not, but like, if it is, sir, it's an option too. But yeah, like I said, the police didn't do anything. And as of 2020, Lay said that he don't have no intentions of reburying his wife. It's been 16 years since he's been sleeping with her. And he said he gonna keep sleeping with her till the day he die. So yeah, y'all, that is the story of the man who slept with and is still sleeping with his wife's dead corpse. Is it as crazy to y'all as it is to me? Have y'all heard about this story before? Like I said, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow for day 5 of HALLOWEEK. Bye. Not only was he shocked because his wife wasn't really sick. I mean, they're still relatively young at this point. Maybe in their 60s, I think. I don't know. Let me stop lying. And so they basically forbid him. Is it forbid or forbode? Forbode? Is that a word? They forbode him. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to say forbid. I was really just sitting here recording and the camera wasn't even, like, I didn't even press the record button. So now I got to say all that over. And it was good too.